I'd like to start the Greenwood Advisory Plan Commission meeting for Monday, September 25th. It is 7:13 at start time. The first item on the agenda is approval of minutes. Prior to taking a motion for September 11th, we need to have a motion for August 28th due to the fiber optic outage. We didn't get a chance to approve the August 28th minutes, so I'd like to approve those first. If I can hear a motion.
So moved.
Second. I have a motion by Monica, second by Mr. King. All those in favor, please show a sign of raising a hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 9-0. Now we have the minutes from September 11th, which was the abbreviated meeting, due again to the fiber issues.
So moved.
We have a motion by Monica. Second. Second by Mr. King. All those in favor, please show by raising a hand. All opposed, same sign. 9-0. See nothing under special requests or continuances. And the next item on the agenda is finding of fact. There was an appeal, Mr. Andrew Kastner for Matchcraft Brewing at 1140 North State Road, 135. Does this belong to? No, it doesn't. This is the planning of it.
This is adopting the findings of fact from the hearing.
So we would need a motion.
Right.
For finding the facts from our hearing.
To approve. If you all reviewed it and approved, then you need a motion to approve the order and findings in the matter of the Matchcraft Brewing notice of violation appeal, heard and decided by the Planning Commission August 28, 2023, and to authorize the president to sign the findings of order in the commission's behalf.
So moved. Spoken. We have a motion to approve by Mr. Milborn. Second. A second by Mr. Lexi. All those in favor, please show by raising a hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 9-0. Next item on the agenda is old business. PC 2023-028 FTMT primary plat. This is a public hearing. All those who intend to speak in favor of this will allow 15 minutes to the petitioner, and those speaking in favor will allow 15 minutes to the remonstrators and persons appearing in opposition to this case for the presentation of evidence. And then we'll allow 5 more minutes to the petitioner and then 5 more to the remonstrator. So if you're planning to speak on this, please stand and be sworn in.
You sworn on whose perjury? Testimony is due to Judge Cost.
Yes.
Bill Perry with Plain Engineers, 10505 North College Avenue, Indianapolis, Indiana. Here representing TMG for the primary plat. This is like continuance a couple weeks ago. This project seems like it's been going on forever, never, but the seller changing things and whatnot. So here we're hopefully in the final stretch to get the primary plat approved so we can file the secondary that going as well. Questions?
I don't recall a presentation at the time. We haven't. Right. So is there, would you like to present this to us? Okay.
If you just want to tell them what you're trying to do with the plat,
I don't have an outline. You have the plat. Handy on.
You could verbally just tell them.
All right, so this is up there at 1140 North, 135, where the Mashcraft Brewing. There's a strip center there with the Dollar General. I believe there's a chiropractic building that's behind where the lot's going. This is the plat for the whole 3.87 acres. So at the corner, we're trying to do a secondary plat of a 20,000 square foot lot. We do a 7-room coffee shop. So there used to be, correct me if I'm wrong, there used to be a building there. I think it was a bank at one time.
It was Driver's Ed at one point, I know.
Okay, so they tore that down. They built the Dollar General. So we're going back on that corner right there on the 20,000 square foot.
Basically, it's just in the corner of the parking lot.
Correct. It would be the southeast corner.
Anything else?
I did get, we did receive engineering approval on this as well.
Is there anybody else who would like to speak in favor of this? Are there any remonstrators that would like to speak in opposition? Seeing none, close public hearing. Questions or comments from the commission?
I have a question for the planning director. Did the petitioner meet your requirements to complete review, and then therefore that this would be up for a vote this evening?
So the petitioner has worked with staff due to some of the extended time we've had with the continuance and the power outage where everything was continued. We have worked through all of the planning comments and concerns. Our outside review consultant has also given us their final letter of review and believes it's in compliance with our standards. They are still working with staff on a drainage, making sure drainage works on the site. And with that, there may be a waiver that they will need to request from the Board of Public Works and Safety. So I would say they have met all of our conditions, but if you were to propose a, if you were to move to approve this, I would recommend a condition that the drainage is substantially reviewed and finalized with staff during the secondary and commercial site plan.
Thank you.
And just to shed some light, the primary plat is establishing it as a block A that can be divisible into 4 lots. As he mentioned, they're planning on carving out 1 lot for the 7-brew. That will be finalized. That lot will be finalized with the secondary plat that gets recorded. Staff will review that, and we've actually already seen some plans for it, some conceptual plans pending an approval, and it will meet the lot size requirements and the frontage requirements as well. If they were to vary from anything, they would need to come back to you for a waiver from that requirement. So, but for the primary plat, it does substantially comply, except for possibly the condition to make sure that the drainage is finalized.
And the tech review committee approved this.
We did recommend approval with conditions. Those conditions, most of them have already been addressed due to the multiple continuances and time that we've had to work with the petitioner.
Been well massaged.
Yes.
Any other questions from the commission?
I have one.
Yes.
Sir, would it be similar? Would it be similar to the one on County Line in Emerson?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Anything else? Now I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. President, I move to approve proposed primary plat of FTMT commercial subdivision submitted by TMG Construction docket PC 2023-028, subject to the technical review committee condition and that all staff comments are addressed, and the condition that all items identified by the city of Greenwood outside review consultant are addressed, because the primary plat, once the conditions are met, complies with the standards in the Unified Development Ordinance subdivisions division, and to direct the president to sign in the commission's behalf the notice of determination and written findings regarding the approval of the primary plat as prepared by the planning director, with one condition: an adequate drainage plan is reviewed and approved by the drainage board.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Milborn. We have a motion by Mr. Walker, second by Mr. Milborn. Any last comments or questions? All in favor, please show by raising your hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion passes 9-0. Good luck, sir.
Thank you.
Next item of old business is PC 2023-045, Greenwood Village South primary plat. Again, this is a public hearing, and the same timing will apply.
You should all finish surgery, so it's you the best knowledge.
Good evening. My name is Mike Temko. I work for Finley Horn and Associates. We're the civil engineer on this project. I have with me Mr. Jordan Morrow, Executive Director at Greenwood Village South. We're here this evening to request approval of the primary plat for the Greenwood Village South campus. There is planned a redevelopment of a portion of the campus, and since this property has not been previously platted, it will have to be as part of the project process. So the redevelopment includes mostly, or I should say the redevelopment mostly occurs on the west side of campus. There will be a building expansion on the west side of the central building here. There will be 6 independent living apartment style buildings that will be in the open space on the west side of campus, and then a new assisted living facility where my cursor is shown here up by the on the east side of the central building. There will also be, as a part of this, it would be an off-site improvement, but a secondary access point that would head south down and tie into April Drive as well. At this point, we've worked through the majority of the comments with staff. I know the one outstanding comment from the planning department is in regard to street names, but we agreed that we would continue to work through that process. We have at this point received approval from Commonwealth, the third-party reviewer, and then we went to the Board of Public Works last Monday for a couple drainage waivers that pertained in essence to grandfathering the conditions of the existing ponds. There's 3 existing ponds on the east side of campus, basically grandfathering in those conditions so that they can continue to operate the way that they are today, as opposed to bringing those all up to the latest standards in the city code. The main driver of that is just given that they're relatively small ponds, it would be very difficult to meet all the requirements for a wet pond based on how the city code is written today. But otherwise, we are happy to answer any questions that the board has for us.
Is there anybody else to speak in favor of this? Not? Is there any opposition you'd like to speak? Seeing none, close public hearing. Any Questions from the commission?
I have a question just as a point of reference. How old is the building that it stands now? I never knew when it was built.
So original building was built and started construction in 1960, finished and opened in 1962. So 61 years.
Okay, just curious.
Now you know why you don't know.
No, that's how old I am. So.
Oh, come on, give me a break. Help me out.
I remember when they built it. Oh, okay.
Any other questions? Comments?
If I may, from staff,
Please.
They have worked through to the staff comments. The Board of Public Works and Safety with the waiver request. They've also worked through our outside review Commonwealth. So those would not need to be included as conditions. They've mastered those. As far as the streets, they do meet the requirements of showing the streets on the primary plat for you to review. The finalization of these street names and planning would be determined by planning staff. And we had some comments or concerns just about some similar names and extension of roads. So we were going to look at that further, but they are there on page 6 of the staff report and includes the exhibits. If you would like to review the street names that they have proposed. So they are meeting that requirement on the primary plat of showing those streets. So they're in compliance with our process.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll entertain a motion.
Mr. President, I move to approve the proposed primary plat of Greenwood Village South Senior Living Subdivision submitted by Kenley Horn and Associates, Inc. on behalf of LCS Development, docket PC 2023-045, because the primary plat complies with the standards in the Unified Development Ordinance Subdivisions Division, and to direct the President to sign on the Commission's behalf the notice of determination and written findings regarding the approval of the primary plat as prepared by the Planning Director.
Second.
Motion by Mr. King, second by Mr. Walker. Next comments or questions? Seeing none, all those in favor, please show a sign raising a hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 9-0. Good luck, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Next under old business, we have PC 2023-047, Lincoln Place change in commitments. This is revised. This is a public hearing. All those who plan on speaking either in favor or opposed, please stand and be sworn in.
About to be distributed the best or not.
I do.
Thank
you. Yeah, that's exactly.
Please. Yes.
Thank you. Good evening, President, members of the Planning Commission. My name is Brian Tui. My address is 50 South Meridian. And here with me tonight is Ty Reinhardt from Lennar Homes and then Kevin Southern, our engineer from Y Engineers. Thank you for your time in hearing our case. This is a case the Planning Commission heard back in 2021, actually. It involves a site on the southwest corner of Emerson Avenue and Fishville Road. I think I will try to get this in a better fashion here. I go here. Thank you. I'm sure it was my fault, not yours. I'm 100% certain of that. So the site is at the southwest corner of Emerson Avenue and Pushville Road. It's 43 acres. We zoned it back in 2021 for the current zoning it has now. So we're not changing the zoning. It actually has two zonings. It has RA for residential attached on the west side of the site and RM for residential medium on the east side of the site. And we had some commitments that we recorded and agreed to with the Planning Commission and Town Council as part of that rezoning. And again, that was in 2021. But what those commitments related to in large part was there was going to be two kinds of housings on the site. There was going to be attached townhomes on the west side of the site over by the railroad track, and then detached single family homes on the east side of the site. Well, for various reasons, Lennar decided not to build the attached townhomes, primarily because the product they had did not comply with all of the architectural standards, but their single family homes did comply with the architectural standards. And additionally, they just sort of made a business decision to build single family attached homes. So again, not to bore you, but just to reacquaint you, the west side of the site was and is zoned RA. That's where those attached townhomes were going to go. The east side of the site is and was zoned RM, and that's where the single family homes are going to go. Just a code page from your ordinance, just confirming to you folks that RM and RA, those are two zoning designations on the site, both allow for detached single family homes. That's what Lennar's built. So why are we here? Because the commitments that were entered into back in 2021 related to attached townhomes. And so instead of building what we proposed in 2021, it was approved, which was 149 homes, some attached, some detached. We would just propose to build 115 single family homes. So the development went from 149 home sites down to 115 home sites. And this is the proposed preliminary layout. Additionally, this exhibit just shows you how the old layout was with the X through it. On the left-hand side of that is where the attached homes were. On the right-hand side is where the single-family homes. And now the proposal is, as you can see, there's less, is to build just all single-family homes. But since there were some commitments made that included references to attached single-family or attached single-family homes, we have to alter those. And so what the first commitment that we would respectfully request your approval of to change is the commitment that said the parcel would be developed with no more than approximately blank single family homes and 79 townhomes. So we're getting rid of the 79 townhomes and limiting it to 115 single family homes. Then additionally, we made some commitments about improvements to Pushville Road and to Emerson Avenue. And after working with staff, it didn't seem like it was perfectly clear what those improvements would look like. The staff and our engineers got together and came up with a plan to show how Pushville Road and Emerson Avenue would be improved. And now we've attached that plan to this commitment. And so now the commitment says that the improvements along Pushville Road would be completed in substantial compliance with the improvements on the attached plan. We'll attach the plan has been attached to the commitments. We're doing the same thing with Emerson Avenue. And then we also had a time limit on our commitments by if we didn't develop this by 2022, then town could initiate a zone map change to take it back to residential large. I think there was even an intervening zoning case that came before you, maybe to change it to an industrial site, and I don't believe that's approved. Lennar thinks they've got this now in a fashion where we know what the roadway improvements will be, we know what the single family lots will look like, and so we would respectfully request that, obviously we didn't develop it by December 31st, so we respectfully request to extend that to December 31st. Sufficient time to be ready to close on the property and start development. The last part of the presentation is the improvements to Bushville Road and Emerson Avenue. Summary, and our engineers here to get through more detail. In summary, improve the flow of traffic along the two entrances to Bushville, and also on Emerson. This shows the improvements to the along the routes on Emerson. Here's a color rendering of that site, the preliminary site plan. You see they tried to keep most of the homes separated from the railroad tracks and industrial to the west by the green areas. And these are all single family detached homes, very similar to what they're building across the street, which is very well received here today. So in summary, we are respectfully asking for changing 4 commitments. 1, to eliminate any reference to townhomes and build just single family detached homes. 2, a clarification to what the road improvements would look like on Bushville Road. 3, a clarification what the road improvements would look like on Emerson Avenue. And then commitment to extend the time to close on the property until December 2000. We greatly appreciate work with Gabe and his team, and we respectfully ask for your support this evening. We'll try to answer any questions you might have. Thank you for your time.
Anybody else would like to speak in favor this time? Not, is there anybody here to speak in opposition? Seeing none, close public hearing. I have a question, Mr. St. John. Is the city in agreement with the road improvements?
We are, yeah. We've met with Lennar, their engineer, and come to an agreement
On both Emerson and Bushville?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else have any questions or comments?
I have a question. Could you go back to the slide before this one, right here? I mean, that seems like their backyard is right on that railroad track. I know these things are kind of hard to read, but what is like the footage of that?
That
26 there.
That rail track would be, I don't want to, I think
Roughly.
56 feet. That the dark black area you're seeing is an asphalt path.
Oh, I thought that was the actual railroad track itself. Oh, okay.
thought that might be what you were asking,
Yeah.
but I wasn't.
Yeah,
That'd
the
be hard
railroad
pressed to
track,
sell that house.
the
You
railroad
thought their
track,
patio might be on the track. Yeah,
the railroad track is west of the green area, correct?
yes.
Oh, okay, I thought that. Okay.
The first time I looked at it, I thought this.
Okay.
It's a sharp left-hand turn for a southbound road.
Well, slow down.
It's for the petitioner.
Well, that's a good thing. We've been trying to get that to happen.
Could you give us a rundown on the trails that are proposed to go with this project?
I will have that's our engineer, please address that.
Kevin Sumner, with Y Engineers, 10505 North College Avenue, Indianapolis. So we've got an asphalt path along the railroad tracks over there on the left-hand side between the pond and the railroad tracks. We'll have a path that is south of lot 26 there that would connect into the sidewalk network through the subdivision. Then we've got a path, you see the green area between those lots that kind of goes north and south between the 3 roads. There's an asphalt path there between those blocks there to connect some kind of connectivity there. And then we've got the path between, so on Bushville Road up there on the north end, we'll have a path along our frontage there. And we'll also, just south of those 3 lots, there's a path there that will connect in and then go back behind those existing homes there up against the pond, and then go north to the path that we'll be building all along Bushville Road, which also connects to the path along railroad tracks. And then we also have a path along Emerson Avenue along our front.
All these have the same width.
I think they're all 8.
10, I think they're all 10 feet.
10 feet on the perimeter, but 8 foot on the interior. Is that right?
That could be correct. I know the perimeter, our required paths would be 10 feet paths. Yeah. So, confirm that.
Yeah, I know that interior one is breaking up those blocks there. That would be 8. And then I think the one back there behind, right there off of that road that comes in from the north, that trail there that would go behind, right there next to lot 3, behind those lots, and then go up to Bushville Road. That would be 8, and then the rest of them, I believe, are 10.
Thank you. More questions? Comments? If not, I'll accept the motion.
Mr. President, I move to approve the request to modify the commitments concerning the use and development of real estate made in connection with the rezoning of 43.59 acres of land located at the southwest corner of Bushville Road and Emerson Avenue by ordinance number 21-48 to 1, adjust the number of single-family homes and remove the townhomes, revising commitment 1 to read, the parcel shall be developed with a maximum of 115 single-family homes. 2, clarify the developer's responsibility to improve Bushville Road and Emerson Avenue by adding Exhibit A and Exhibit B to the commitments, and adding additional sentences to the end of Commitment 5A and 5C to read as follows. A, such improvements along Bushville Road shall be installed in substantial compliance with the improvements approximately depicted on Exhibit A attached here to. C, such improvements along Emerson Avenue shall be installed in substantial compliance with Exhibit B attached here to. And 3, allow an additional extension of the time for petitioner to close on the purchase of the property, revising Commitment 11 to read, should the developer not close on the purchase of the parcel by December 31st, 2024, the city of Greenwood may initiate a zone map change to revert the parcel back to residential large zoning. As presented, and to authorize and direct the commission president to execute and deliver a memorandum regarding the commitment modification regarding Common Council Ordinance number 21-48 to the Common Council and the commission's behalf.
By Mr. King, is there a second? Second. Second by Mr. Walker. Last comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor, please show by raising a hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion passes 9-0. Good luck, gentlemen.
Thank you for your time this evening.
Next, we have PC 2023-052, Pickleball Complex Landscape Waivers. We have Mr. Rob Taggart online. Good evening, Mr. Taggart.
Good evening. Yes.
This is not a public hearing. Uh-oh, it's breaking up there. Try again.
Can you hear me?
Now that time I did.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
If he is unable to speak, I can, as a staff member of Greenwood, give a little background around this, and maybe if his mic is able to pick things up, he can add in if he feels like I'm not explaining something correctly.
Okay.
Can he hear you?
You good with us trying that?
Yes.
Thank you.
So what we have here is an expansion of our park system. They're looking to add pickleball courts to our already existing park by Fruit Springs. This would be really an expansion of an existing parking lot. And then the site would be the pickleball courts and some plantings around the courts and around the park area. What they're looking for is a waiver from some of our perimeter planting and our parking island requirements for plantings. This is really a unique use where it is a large open space public park that far exceeds the number of trees that would be ever required in this parking lot. They have different species of trees, walking trails, etc. So really what they're looking for is a waiver to use their already existing, and they're also planning on adding more plantings to the park in substitute of these parking plantings. And then you can also see you have the statements in blue attached to our staff report from the city.
Okay. So to summarize that a little bit, this thing is in the middle of a close to 80-acre park, and its closest line to a road is somewhere around 1,500 to 2,000 feet.
Yes, that would be an accurate summary. We truly believe that this is different than like a commercial strip center that is going in with the parking lot, where you would be looking for maybe some green coverage or pervious coverage. This is in the middle of a large park with many trees and plantings.
And there is stormwater collection as part of this plan.
There's existing stormwater pond they're going to tie.
But there's stormwater structures that will lead to this system.
Yes.
Are there any questions among the commission?
Just which parking lot? The north one or the south one?
This will be
In French with in English?
Here, Freedom Springs is down here.
Yeah.
And there's a small north parking lot right here.
Mm-hmm.
This is adding on that small north parking lot.
Oh,
The pickleball
okay.
courts are in between the existing court, greenery, which has trail.
It won't disrupt.
The new parking
It won't
lots.
disrupt the trail or the.
Correct.
Okay, I see it.
They're actually adding more trail connectivity and walking around the perimeter. It kind of winds down around the parking lot that they're at. So
And adding more parking as well.
there's going to be more parking, and then there'll be a small little path to the entrance to the pickleball court, so trail walkers could kind of like a sidewalk leading to the front of a business or something. And this is, like they said, an expansion of the existing parking lot. You can see that on sheet 5 in our staff report. It would match the existing the existing parking lot. So it's just matching the expansion there.
And if I've read through this correctly, this part of the thought is the customer base. The pickleball players are considered primarily morning participants, whereas the pool opens up late morning and into midday. So the heavy parking lot usage for the pool would not coincide with the heavy pickleball usage.
that is correct.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments?
What kind of pickles are they using?
Deal. Actually, there are 2 motions that would be required for this. There's 2 different waivers.
Street parking lot.
Landscape. Is that right?
Well, they're both labeled landscape waiver requests, but one is a perimeter parking lot, one is an off-street parking island. Am I reading that right?
Yeah, those are the 2.
Correct.
Right.
And they do have perimeter plantings, that they have trees. It's the shrubs that they're looking for a waiver from. They have shrubs located kind of around some of the pickleball courts and then elsewhere in the park as well. But they still do have perimeter plantings, just to make that clear.
So, I guess for the off-street parking island, I move that the request of the city of Greenwood for waiver of the requirement of the Unified Development Ordinance, Greenwood Municipal Code, Chapter 10, Article 25, Division 3, Generally Applicable Regulations, Section 10-03-06, Landscaping and Buffering. J, Parking lot landscaping. 1, off-street parking islands. A, that specifies a landscaped interior island evenly distributed throughout parking areas every 14 spaces within off-street parking lots be approved because the proximity and setting of the project parking lot is within a public park that has overall landscaping distributed throughout that exceeds requirements in quantities of plantings and provides appropriate and aesthetic screening, and the required landscaped island plantings will obstruct current and future security surveillance cameras, and that the Planning Commission find that the City of Greenwood has met the criteria set forth by Greenwood Municipal Code, Section 10-04-03K for the waiver, for the reasons set forth in its request for the waiver and as presented.
Motion presented by Mr. King. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Monica. Any last questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor, please show sign by raising a hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion passes 9-0. We need a motion on the perimeter parking lot landscaping.
Mr. President, in reference to perimeter parking lot, I move that the request of the City of Greenwood for waivers of the requirements of the Unified Development Ordinance, Greenwood Municipal Code, Chapter 10, Article 25, Division 3, Generally Applicable Regulations, Section 10-03-06, Landscaping and Buffering. J, Parking lot landscaping. 2, perimeter parking lot landscaping A and B that specifies a minimum 5-foot wide landscape area with continuous row of shrubs and a minimum of 1 tree and 3 shrubs per 35 feet of linear planting at the perimeter of the parking lot be approved because the proximity and setting of the project parking lot is within a public park that has overall landscaping distributed throughout that exceeds requirements and quantities of plantings and provides appropriate and aesthetic screening and green space. And the required perimeter plantings will obstruct current and future security surveillance cameras, and that the Planning Commission find that the City of Greenwood has met the criteria set forth by Greenwood Municipal Code Section 10-4-03K for the waiver for the reasons set forth in this request, in its request for the waiver and as presented.
Motion by Mr. Walker. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Monica. Last questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor, please show sign by raising a hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion passes 9-0. Good luck with your pickleball courts, Mr. Taggart. Just wait, that's good.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Is there any old business from the floor? Bueller? Is there any new business? Any new business from the floor? Seeing none. Are there any announcements?
Is there anything on the agenda for the night?
No announcements. For the night, I believe we do have an agenda. I'll look at that briefly.
I will be absent. Fall break.
Say that like a teacher wants to escape or something. Oh, I won't be at the comp on Wednesday. I'll be away for it. So.
Thank you. Oh yeah, that can be my announcement. If you haven't gone on to the social map or taken the survey, please do that. Please also just share that with your friends and family. Pressure them to take those. We've kind of started to plateau on seeing surveys get completed, and would like to continue that. We'll probably be putting out another kind of a Facebook post or a press release. You're always welcome to share those, post it on your LinkedIn, your Snapchat, your TikTok, whatever you have to spread the word. Looking at you, Mr. Milborn. And
can use my
I've got Facebook, that's it.
You can use my TikTok.
Tweet it.
I
Well, no, I think you exit now.
I have no idea.
It's an X.
And the previous question, we do have a primary plat docketed, and I'm guessing we'll probably fill it with a waiver or something by the time we get there, but we do have the primary plat.
In addition to Ms. Gardner enjoying fall break, I too will be with a 14-year-old grandson in South Carolina while he's on fall break, but I plan on calling in, and this is the last of my journeys for the late summer that I'm aware of.
If you're gonna call in, should we just?
Yes, and then do you want to do the suspension of rules to allow the vice president to chair and run the meeting?
Yeah, is there a motion?
So
Mr. Walker, Mr. Lexi seconds.
there's no.
Mr. Lexi.
Either way.
it's fine.
Mr. Lexi moves.
We're in support of one another.
Would this be for the balance of the year since, in case you're going into other side?
This is the last time that I'm aware that I'm going to be gone. Unless we decide to have a meeting the first week of December. I was very careful in planning a trip to Mexico the first week of December.
We've got a motion to suspend the rules to allow Mr. King to preside at the meeting October 9th. Second.
All those in favor, please show by raising your right hand, either hand. All opposed, same sign. We have suspended the rules for the next October 9th meeting. We have one more item of business.
Move to adjourn.